Jesus Christ, that was a pain in the ass. I'm finally free from YouTube jail. I promise I'll be a good girl now, YouTube. No more spicy meme videos from me. Scout's honor, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. Anyway, guys, before I begin, I wanted to welcome all my new subscribers and those I met at MythCon. You guys helped me hit a small milestone of over 100 subs, and I finally got my own little custom URL. It feels really good. I still can't believe that there are over 100 of you that want to listen to my shitty opinions and watch my crappy videos. Thank you. I will also guess a lot of you are dying to know my thoughts on MythCon and everything that transpired. Unfortunately, I'm holding that off for another video. I'm sure some of you are aware I'm waiting for a specific question to ask a panel member, that I asked a panel member. And I plan on doing a whole video on MythCon, but I want to include that question in the video. And you'll see why once it's released. So once again, guys, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Hello to everybody I met at MythCon and everybody who's come across me along the way. Let's get started. I've been meaning to make this video for a little while now, and I've put it off because I wanted to improve on the quality of my videos, using animations and such, and getting better at editing. Then I had the MythCon thing coming up and I wanted to prepare for that. Then I got hit with my 2-week ban. So obviously that's put a delay in my ability to release my content, but now that's over now, so now I've had a lot of time to sit and consider my views on what Alt-Libertarianism is. So let's get with the basics. What exactly is Libertarianism? Libertarianism, and specifically in this instance, social libertarianism, is based on the foundation of liberty and free will, meaning that an individual should be the sole decision maker when it comes to the choices they make with their body or for themselves. As a libertarian, it is not my place to judge someone if they want to, for example, inject heroin into their bodies. I would urge them not to. I would explain to them what the consequences are, such as addiction and what it's going to do to your body, but I will never tell someone that you can't do drugs. I feel that the war on drugs is a complete waste of taxpayer resources, spending more money than we need to on law enforcement for arresting people for just victimless crimes of just ingesting chemicals into their bodies. If we remove these prohibitive laws, events like gang-related murders involving drugs would most likely cease. Because if people were given the option to sell drugs in corner stores and not in back alley deals and other things, there would no longer be a demand for the criminal element to supply an illegal substance. When I can just go to the corner store or shop or whatever you want to call it and just buy it there legally, freeing up the resources to be allocated to investigating actual crimes where someone's rights were violated. I also feel as a libertarian that prostitution should be illegal. It is not my place to tell someone that they cannot treat their body like a commodity or a product to be sold to a customer who is willing to pay for that service. So long as both parties consent to the price and action, have at it. I don't care. If you find that immoral, then don't go to a prostitute. It's that easy. Moral legislation is authoritarian in nature. Making prostitution illegal because you feel it is immoral and disgusting is no different than if someone made a law that says you have to have sex with a prostitute once a week. It violates your basic natural right to be able to make choices freely for yourself. People should have the ability to make choices freely for themselves so long as they are not violating someone else's basic rights, and consent of both parties is given. Social libertarianism is also pro-gay marriage. What two consenting adults wish to do with their private lives is, again, none of my business, nor should it be prohibited by the government. That is not what the role of government is supposed to be in people's lives. The government's role should be to hold the sole monopoly on violence and act as a third-party arbitrator to settle disputes or accusations of rights violations between people. I feel it is easy for all libertarians to agree on this basic principle of social libertarianism, the removal of government oversight into people's choices and personal lives. However, the next part is where there was going to be some disagreements with me and why I call myself an alt-libertarian, and that's economic libertarianism. This is where I diverge from the normal Ron Paul gold standard ideas, as well as the Ayn Rand businesses should do whatever they want mentality that, in my opinion, has taken over libertarianism. It is from this thinking where I got the idea for Alt-Libertarianism. An Alt-Libertarian is not an anarcho-capitalist. We feel that a business is just as capable of being authoritarian as the government. A business has the ability, like we've seen in recent weeks with Silicon Valley and the social media giants' mass removal of right-wing voices, to suppress people's basic rights and freedoms when it comes to expressing themselves. Alt-libertarianism is putting the consumer first, allowing the economy to be consumer-driven and let people make choices for themselves on what they wish to view or what they wish to buy, anything like that. It's basically the more a consumer has access to, the better for them. An alt-libertarian seeks to remove the business's ability to control and manipulate the markets in their favor.
But what about the business's right to exist and to conduct business how they see fit?
I'm not saying a business can't set their own guidelines and rules on what they wish to sell, promote, or endorse. However, allowing businesses like the social media giants to punish people for wrongthink is the same as the Pinkerton agency hunting down union leaders and arresting them for the crime of just speaking out against the business. Imagine Google sending a police force to arrest you because you were critical of Islamic extremists, because of the simple fact that it would just offend Muslims. Because that's pretty much what they're doing now. They're removing your ability to speak your mind freely on a platform that's basically founded on the idea that it's a free exchange of ideas platform. Yes, I can't really say much anything else to that.
But what about the social media alternatives, like Gab?
Why should the consumer have their choice in social media usage be removed because someone else got offended at something? Creating echo chamber sites will only stall new ideas from forming, and will reinforce ideas that may not be the best, because, well, you're going to be surrounded by everybody who agrees with them. And this is where we connect the social libertarianism to alt-libertarianism. It is not Google, Facebook, or Twitter's place to determine what people choose or not to choose to view. It should be up to the individual in this instance, because the social media companies are open-based social media outlets. This isn't like the NFL's, whose sole product is to promote football. The NFL can tell players to stand for the anthem because the NFL isn't there to promote political discussion or anything else. The NFL is just there to promote football. Social media's product is the ability to talk with your friends around the globe, political, gaming, or otherwise. Nobody should be punished for that reason when that is basically what your product is there for. So when social media bans users, they are removing your choice in what you consume.
So you advocate regulating businesses? You're not a libertarian.
Why not? We have laws and regulations that say you can't violate someone else's rights. Like, you can't go around murdering people. That's a regulation. Why should companies be treated any differently? This is where I have so many disagreements with Ayn Rand fanboys and anarcho-capitalists who have no problem limiting what the individual can and can't do through business practices, but will allow businesses free range to fuck over people because, well, it's the business's right. What about individual rights? What about basic freedoms? We wouldn't let the government fuck us over in this way, so what makes private businesses any different?
What about welfare? Why should I have to subsidize someone else's lifestyle?
For the most part, I agree. Things like corporate welfare need to go. If a business cannot survive on its ability to turn a profit, then that business needs to fade away and make room for a better business to take its place. However, individual welfare, I support for the most part. My views on individual welfare are, it's a social safety net, not a social safety hammock. It's like jumping out of a burning building, and once you land on the net, You're not going to lay there and take up the resources that other people are going to need. Once used, you should be working to get off of it as soon as possible, so that other people can use it as well. People should be encouraged to get a job while on welfare, because too many people in the system lays a much heavier burden on those who are working, and it just creates resentment. Long-term welfare also is what creates and maintains first world poverty, because why should I have to get a job when everything is provided for me? And well, if you're not making money, then you have to sit there and find either government-approved housing, which isn't the best, or the cheapest housing that you can afford by using your welfare money. That's why you'll find a lot of welfare in places with high poverty, because that's what it creates.
What about taxation? Taxation is theft after all.
This one, yeah, it's a bit of a gray area for me. On the one hand, the government needs money to provide services such as defense and law enforcement. We can't expect our policemen and policewomen, as well as our service members in the armed forces, to work for free. The government needs those people and those services to be able to maintain its monopoly on violence. On the other hand, we are just taxed upon taxed upon taxed upon tax. There's something like 80 different taxes you are going to pay in your lifetime if you purchase products. The government basically uses these taxes to fund its inefficient bureaucracy. It should be the government's responsibility to spend what money we give it responsibly. Unfortunately, it doesn't, and I try to vote people in so that they will create budgets that make the government spend responsibly. That doesn't mean, again, that I'm against taxes. It just means that the government needs to slim down its spending how the everyday taxpayer budgets themselves. But anyway, guys, I rambled on a lot longer than I intended to with this video, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit that like and subscribe button so you can see more videos like this, and I got some big news here for you. Next week, I'm going to be conducting an interview with Larry Sharp, the Libertarian candidate for the governor of New York, so stay tuned for that, and as always, guys, have a great one, and thanks for watching.